Hi, I'm Olivia Crosby. I'm the creative director at Inklings News, and I'm here to show you how to make a more intricate snowflake.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care.
So step one, you're going to need a piece of paper and a pair of scissors and a trash can nearby, because to make an 8-piece snowflake, it's going to be pretty messy. Step two, you want to make sure that you start off with a square. And obviously this is not too square-like, so you got to make it into a square. And usually I do this by just taking one of the corners, and if you fold it over, it doesn't have to be too perfect because you're going to be cutting a lot. But from there, basically you just cut along that line on the bottom. And now you have a perfect square. So to make sure that your snowflake is unique, you want to make sure that you fold it a ton. Usually I go from corner to corner, and then I fold it as many times as I can, so I'll fold it one more time. And I don't stop here, usually I go another time. Usually people stop there, and that's kind of where you get pretty boring shapes. So you kind of want to, this is basically your starting point. Step 4 is the messiest part, but also the most creative part. Before you start cutting, you want to make sure that you know where the center of your snowflake is and where the outside of the snowflake is. Usually when you're folding, wherever you start folding, this will be the center. So from here, you can cut from the center and you can get a pretty nice, however way you want to cut it, you can get a pretty nice center of the snowflake. But to keep the snowflake from being pretty basic and square, you can do different stuff to the edges. So what I like to do is, I don't really like a square snowflake too much because that's pretty basic. Everyone's snowflake is pretty much square because you're cutting it from a square. But if you start on the edges and you cut it out like this, maybe it has spikes, that's more circular. And what I like to think is most snowflakes are more circular. So this is pretty, and you can also, if you start almost by making it into a little heart, it gives it some really nice round edges, and that's pretty cute to start from. My big snowflake tip is to cut anywhere and everywhere, but you want to make sure that you keep some edges because otherwise it's going to be in pieces. But as you can see, literally I cut as much as possible, and I even did some of these little slits, and that's literally just by cutting in lines on the paper. And I guess once you fold it, you'll see all the detail in the snowflake. And you have a ton of holes, a ton of detail, and it's really intricate. Thanks for watching, and congrats because you just became an 8-piece snowflaker. Happy holidays from Inklings.